Mixed martial arts is quickly becoming one of the biggest sports in the world to date, with pioneering companies such as the UFC and Bellator leading the way at the highest level of competition. But where has the sport come from, seeing as less than 5 years ago it was relatively unheard of? I want to find out where this phenomenon is going and just what it takes to be a mixed martial artist. I began my journey into the MMA world by heading to my hometown of Bedford to speak to up-and-coming Sambo fighter Ryan Peters.
It teaches that patience and teaches you to be calm, you know, under stress, really.
Because anyone else would panic there. They'd think, well, I've been here, what do I do here? You know, your brain is not thinking. You're not thinking like you were just walking around in the street.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why it's so good, mentally, spiritually, you know, as well as physically. And that's why a lot of people do take it up, not only for the competition side, but as a way of relieving stress.
Yeah.
You know, feeling better about themselves. And
I think
exercise
at the same
of
time,
course,
isn't it?
absolutely. And it is very much a community at the same time. If you was to go from one gym in the north to the south or whatever, there's no barriers, there's no religious barriers, there's no language barriers. There's that respect.
Everyone knows what they're there for and there to do. Sort of.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course. You know, you get a few bad apples here and there.
You're going to get over anything.
Absolutely. But on the whole, it's very much a club, a universal club, and that's why people take to it. You get, you know, mums, dads, you get toddlers classes now, you get, you know, you get the adults, you get the competitive fighters, sorry. Everybody gains something from it.
It's clear to see that the sport isn't just for men wanting to compete in what the media sometimes portrays as a blood sport. There is a huge community based within mixed martial arts that is drawing people into gyms around the United Kingdom. With this information in mind, we headed to one of Bedford's most popular gyms for the sport, where the UK's #1 Thai fighter, Dan McGowan, trains.
Been doing Thai boxing for about 11 years now. Like this year, I'm fighting like 2 current Thai champions. So this is like my biggest year. Then I'm junior world champion like 3 times. Then I've got MTGP world title. I won that last year, like professional world title. So I got that, and then travelled the world with it as well. So just gonna carry on doing the same really. Then yeah, I've got a few this year. Another Thai champion, I think. I'm not really allowed to say who. I don't think so. Better keep that secret. But yeah, another big one in October, and then I'm fighting against like Irish #1 in August as well in Birmingham. So, but I used to train in Northampton as well in London. But this is my main now, yeah, because the travelling is too much.
So it's like Ryan was saying as well, it's sort of community.
Yeah.
Spectrum of it as well.
Yeah, like all of us are mates here as well. So like it's easy like come in and kind of get on with everyone. It's a good laugh and stuff. I've got a really good Thai trainer who's here as well, so I get like the best training and stuff. So
it's becoming a big thing now. You know, people know about it, people are talking about it, and people want to try it.
Exactly, yeah.
But we were talking about the mental aspect of it, because for me, what people will be doing is they'll see Conor McGregor and think, well, I can do that, I can box. You can't, but you think you can, but they'll come in here, they'll do a week, 2, they'll get hurt once, and then they won't come back. They won't come back, but that's not what it's about. It's not about hurting another person. For them to put themselves in that mind space of, I'm going to hurt someone, and then someone else does it. That's not how you can be. You cannot be like that.
No, it's like, people say to me like, oh, when someone's hitting you, do you get angry and stuff like that? But never, when I fought, I've never got angry, ever. Like, I probably, you lose the plot. Like, there's a few times in the gym where like you get a bit annoyed and sparring or whatever. But every time I've got annoyed, I start getting battered. So you can't like it's not like the street. Like I mean, street fighting. Like there's an art to like what we're doing here, and like there's that we're training or fighting against trained athletes as well.
For athletes of the sport like Daniel, the sport has never been about hurting the person you are put across from. There is a huge element of respect between the fighters that is mostly unseen with the big productions such as the UFC. With Daniel having a few big fights coming up, I had to find out what his plan is over the next few years and his dreams related to MMA.
People will remember me. So.
Bigger stages.
Yeah, bigger stage. I mean, this year there's massive stages. I fought in Thailand a lot. I fought in Thailand about 12 times in like Ratchaburi Stadium, Lumpini Stadium, which are like, it's like the mecca of Thai boxing. So I've fought on some big stages, but like it's about the opposition that they're getting better and better each time. So yes, it's exciting, but that's what I want to do. I think I'll get there. I'll give it another couple of years. I think this year's like it's like an interesting year. Like see how I do. Even if I don't get it this year, I know that I'll keep going. Yeah, I'll chase it. Yeah, I've been knocked down before, and I've got up and I've carried on, and I've got better each time. Every time I've been knocked down, I've come back and I've done well, and I've got better each time. So yeah, knockbacks are like what makes you as well. So yeah, even if this year doesn't kind of, I don't get that to the dream, I know that I still will in a couple of years. So yeah, it's a working process.
Cheers. Good luck in your next fight.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Daniel is a proven inspiration to the sport and is always pushing himself to become the best he can be. There is a lot of good that goes unseen in the MMA world, such as the youth offenders program mentioned by Ryan, that a lot of gyms around the UK are taking to using, with a proven success rate in rehabilitating offenders by putting on the free classes. My time with Ryan was quickly coming to an end as he prepared to move back to his university halls in Wales. However, I had a few more hours with him, so we headed over the next day to see where he first began to learn mixed martial arts.
As you can see, it's just a room. There's nothing in it. There's some mirrors over there. It was some laminate floor, and used to get 30, 40 guys and girls in there. There's no ring. There's no ropes. There's no bags. Nothing. But as I've previously mentioned before, some friends of mine. One of them just won a British title at the O2 Arena. One of them just won an East Area title. And another one of them an English title, and they all train here. It's bare minimum, bare basics, and it's all about the people you train with, the guys and girls you go in with, who put everything in, and they try and help one another and push each other, and it becomes a family. It's not about beating each other up, or it's not about proving you're the best or imposing your will on one another. If somebody's lacking somewhere, you help them, and it should be like that in life, and you take that outside of the gym. You try and help people, so it's not just the experience inside there. As you said, you learn things that you take with you for the rest of your life, and you learn humility, you learn respect, and you learn to do the best you can with whatever you have, whatever bare minimum you have. You don't need the big fancy lights, you don't need the experience as it is. You don't need to feel like a world champion to push yourself like a world champion. It's not about that. There's no red carpet, there's no bright lights.
How old were you when you were coming up here?
I think my boxing gym moved here when I was about 19. Before that I was at another one over East Cots Road, which unfortunately has been knocked down now. And it's been built upon. But yeah, down there again, that was very much there. We had bags, we had a ring there. It was spit and sawdust.
But you got
a great little gym. Yeah, fantastic gym. It's about the coaches. It's about the people who are teaching you, because not only are they teaching you to evade a punch or a takedown or whatever else, they're teaching you a way to think, a way to center yourself, a way to conduct yourself, which you take further than the fight game.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is there anything from sort of like here or the other place that you've really honed into? I mean, you're speaking about like sort of adapting that, and that's the way life should be. I mean, that's one point. Is that sort of a main area you've taken, or is there other things, like thousands upon thousands that you've taken?
There's many little things that you take. You learn just things that everybody talks about every single day, but they don't necessarily practice. When it gets tough, you think about somebody else, and it becomes quite trivial when people say it, but as I said, not many people practice it. When things get hard in there and you can't breathe, and you can attribute that to somebody who's got to go out every single day and feels stuck in their job, and they don't feel like they can breathe, but they do it time and time again because it's that strength of character. They know they must.
You kind of have to, yeah.
Yeah, it's building that character, it's building a bit of inner strength, and you become. It builds morals as well, integrity. It's not just, I'm not saying you walk in there amoral and you come out this moral, super being.
Compass, yeah.
But yeah, it's not about that. But you go in there and you learn hardship, and you learn respect, and you learn to graft, and it just becomes a part of you, and you naturally start to do it on the outside. And I know sometimes you have parents come in and check it out, and they see the surface and they see the bare bones, and they see sweaty guys and girls knocking the 10 shades or whatever out of one another, but that's often when the coach takes them aside and says, look, it's not about that. You know, if you just sit in and just watch for a little bit longer and you see how they all interact when there's a water break. You know, you've got 30 seconds for a water break, and all of a sudden you go from sparring with the guy who's in front of you to bantering and having a laugh, and do you know what I mean? You're helping him get his gloves on, and because he's rushing.
It's a lot of humility.
Yeah, you know,
So
and
much
if
humility
a guy's got a fight coming up, you do everything you can. You get up at 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, you go and run with him. You do what you can to help everybody, not just your stable mates, but everybody.
I suppose in a way as well, as you're doing that, obviously that's going to give them a huge boost, but for yourself it's a huge boost because you're sort of thinking, I'm helping this person, you know, and you never know. Let's just say, for example, out of the blue, he knows the best kick you could ever do, and you need that, let's say, for example, and he might think, oh, you know, that guy trained with me, ran with me at 5 in the morning, wherever the hell it was, and then he teaches you that, and you think, well, I've learned something from that, I've gained something, and I didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't have to pay a fee for it. You
become, as you say, as you touch upon, you become a well-rounded individual, because not only do you give, but by giving you receive something. You're not asking to receive something, but people help, because everybody's giving and they're not just taking. All of a sudden everybody is receiving. It's a byproduct, you know, and it's absolutely that. Everybody grows, everybody learns, everybody feels accepted.
Ryan is the perfect example of what learning mixed martial arts can do for you by learning and progressing throughout his time with the sport to become a better person, and I can't begin to explain the admiration I have for him and what he has achieved. With the UFC recently being bought for $4 billion, it's clear that mixed martial arts is showing no signs of stopping its freight train of popularity.